Boo fam, peace, blessings. This is Derric, RauKhu more, and wanted to just do a little video that was talking about, like I said, how the monk actually relates to Congo spirituality. Okay, as I've stated in previous videos, Congo spirituality was it was a very unique spirituality, mainly because, unlike all the other like I said, ethnic groups and what have you, that had like very diverse pantheons of different divinities and what have you, such as, like I said, the Yoruba, they had their Orishas. You had the Daomis that had Loas. I believe they had Loas, Voodoos. You had, I believe it was in Ghana, the Khans, present day Ghana, but the Khans, they had the Abosoms. You had all these different, they had all these pantheons, okay? Congo spirituality, they didn't have that, okay? Congo spirituality was very, very simplistic, and because of the simplicity of it, it made it easier. It made it easy for them to go ahead and basically convert over to Christianity, okay? Because of the simplicity. What made it complex was the way in which it was actually practiced. All right, and like I said, this is based upon based upon my research, based upon the some of the individuals that I've talked to and actually interviewed and what have you, who are involved in Congo traditions and faiths all throughout the like I said, throughout the diaspora. Okay, so one of the things, like I was saying before, okay, the thing about the Congo spirituality, because what made it so simplistic was that basically they only had like a few beliefs, okay? For instance, like I said, the supreme being in Congo spirituality was called Nzambi Mbungu, okay? That was a supreme being. Up under Nzambi, there was like I said, a host of spirits. Some of these spirits, and for the most part, and I'm just going to here, I'm not going to really go into the Kikongo names for them, because like I said, they differed. But there was the ancestral spirits. They were basically the ones who, for the most part, that's where they did all their spirituality through. Okay, anything in regards to spiritual evolution, spiritual growth, and what have you, for the most part, it focused on, or it dealt with the ancestors, because it was all, the ancestors were the ones who, they were the ones who basically, for the most part, they gave people the power. They were the ones who went ahead and they owned the land. Okay, anytime one of the greatest fears that a lot of the Congo kings had, or anybody within the Congo monarchy had, was that if they went ahead and they did anything incorrect, the people could automatically, people could go to the ancestors and have invoke their ancestors. Okay, now I find that to be kind of unique and kind of interesting, because if you go back and you read the story of Osir, the ancient Egyptian Kemetic story of Osir, this is how they defeated Set. There's one version of the story that talks about this is how they defeated Set. Okay, the Jehuti or Thoth in Greek, he went ahead and he basically invoked Osir, okay, who was dead at the time. So he invoked the spirit of Osir, who basically spoke on his son's Haru's behalf. Excuse me, Horus behalf, and that's how they was able to defeat Set. Okay, so like I said, you can see, if you go ahead and you really delve into it, you can actually see there's a connection. These are just basically ancestral beliefs that, or cultural beliefs that basically you can see they come from, I don't want to say they actually come from, but you can find roots of it in ancient Egypt. But we're in denial, and people are in denial. They don't want people to know this. So but again, we know what it is. Okay. But anyway, so like I said, so the Congo spirituality, they had up under Nzambi and Pugu, there was a supreme, like I said, Nzambi and Pugu was a supreme being. You had your ancestral spirits. You had benevolent spirits. Excuse me. You had benevolent spirits, and these were considered to be water spirits, which they call Basembi. You also had these, like I said, it depends upon which region you're talking about, but you had woodland spirits. Okay. So you had, and these spirits, for the most part, and like I said, you can look it up. Okay. They differed, the names differed. But you had, like I said, Bakulu, Basimbi, and Baankunyo. Okay. And these were all basically, and like I said, in different regions, they were called something else. Okay. Now, that was basically their spirituality. Okay. Like I said, the one story about the Congo, the one Congo myth I recall hearing and being told was there was a man by the name of Boomsi. Boomsi was basically given the power from Nzambi and Pogu to basically make some medicine to heal something. I can't remember actually what it was. But as a result of him doing that, all the people in the Congo-Angolan region had the power to make inkinsis. Okay, and inkinsi is called medicine. Okay, or is called a charm. The one who wields the inkinsi, okay, basically they go ahead and well, first of all, let me go back. Let me explain that. An inkisi, okay, or minkisi, what it does is it gathers spirits. Okay. There was different kind of spirits or different kind of minkisis that were made. Most of them went ahead and they focused on a specific objective. All right. So you might have had a minkisi that was basically created to help the people go ahead and win a war. You may have had an MKC that was basically it was created to go ahead and call spirits together to help heal of smallpox. You may have had an MKC that was basically put together that was to call spirits to help couple conceive, or to help for a safe delivery of safe delivery of a child. Okay, so there was different inkisis that was basically created, and this is what made the Congo spirituality very complex. Okay, so because like I said before, they had a very simplistic belief system, but the actual number of inkisis or minkisis that they had, there was a bunch of them. Okay, there was a lot of them. Now, what's interesting about that is that, like I said before, no one actually had like a monopoly on what type of, who made the best inkisis or what have you. You did have particular groups or particular people within the Kongo-Angolan region that basically specialized on certain things. And the reason why they specialized it was because they had gone through their, I would call it their initiation of the sun, in which they went ahead and they lived, they born, they lived, they spiritually died and was reborn. And this is how they became a spiritual priest or what have you, which was called an Nganga. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about all of that is that over here in the Americas, okay, you can still see the continuation of all of this. All right. Now, as I stated before, there were certain groups that was basically taken, and they were taken from different regions. So it's no, again, there's no coincidence that, you know, the descendants of the Kongo-Angolan people who live in Cuba, they go ahead and they practice the, you know, Palamayambe, because that right there lets you know this is where they brought that from that region of the Kongo-Angolan, you know, Kongo-Angolan kingdom. That's where they brought that from. That is their tradition. Okay. Same thing in, like I said, in Haiti. Okay, in Haiti. The people, the Congo people who go ahead and, or the Congo descendants who were taken over to that region, they went ahead and they did things a certain way as well. Okay. And you can go ahead and you can see it. Okay. Over in, let's see, in Brazil, same idea. Okay, in Brazil, the same. The Yorkibandas, all right. They went ahead and you can see there's a certain way in which they go ahead and they deal with their spirits. Okay, you can see that Congo element. Okay, now, but what about North America? What about North America? Do you see that Congo influence there? Well, yes. If you investigate your history, investigate our culture, and look beyond all the other, you know, nonsense that is trying to go ahead and prevent us from actually embracing our spirituality, okay, and embracing our ancestral way. If you look beyond all of that, what you'll find is that, and historically they found this, they found all these dials back when in various slave quarters and what have you. Let me rephrase that, not just dials. They found dials, they found, you know, caches, they found all types of things that basically tied them back to the Congo, okay? One of the biggest remnants of the Kongo-Angolan spirituality from the old times is the quote-unquote Mojo bag. Okay, traditionally the Mojo bag, the Mojo bag, the Toby, the hand. Okay, before it was called a gree-gree, before it was called, you know, all these other things. Okay, traditionally the way it was made was the same. It was made very, very similar to the way in which minkisis are made. Okay, it consisted of, you have stones, you have different herbs, you might have bones in there, you might have all these different elements that basically went ahead and it called upon the spirits. Okay, the spirits to go ahead and help for a specific purpose, for a specific objective. Okay, that was the original idea behind the Mojo bags. Okay, it stems from the minkisi tradition. All right, so the thing about the Congo spirituality, okay, and there's a reason why I'm saying this about the Kemetic. But the thing about the Congo spirituality, okay, is that, like I said, the spiritual beliefs were very simple. Okay, it was very simplistic. The way in which it was applied, the way in which it was practiced is what was complex. So the way in which they went ahead, and you're talking about making a minkisi, or you're making a like I said, a Mojo bag, that was very complex. Okay, now here's the thing about that. It's nothing but a technology. It was a spiritual technology. And the reason why they keep telling me about the whole thing, keep saying think about Kemet, is because guess what? In Kemet, they did the exact same thing. there's a similar tradition that deals the exact same thing. If you go back and you actually read about some of the statues that they had in Kemet, they had bundles that were put inside of them, okay, which are very, 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 very closely resembles, very similar to minkisi, okay. The whole idea of going ahead and burying all these different artifacts, and for instance, if you go and you look at the when they went ahead and they did the excavation, quote unquote, of Tutankhamun, the boy king, all the different things that you see in there, why do you think they put all those things in there? Those are all things that basically that the spirit needed, okay. It is the same idea, okay. So I just wanted to go ahead and I wanted to share that with you, because hopefully, okay, if you're dealing with you're dealing with your ancestors, if you're honoring your ancestors and you're venerating your guides, hopefully they'll start talking to you, and you'll start there's things that they're going to reveal to you that you're not going to find in a book, okay. And our spirituality, okay, our spirituality is different from all the other those of us who are following, who are starting to embrace our Congo-Angolan ancestry. Our spirituality is different from the descendants of the Congo-Angolan region that are throughout the diaspora. Okay, it's different, but there's a reason why they don't want you to know this. Okay, there's a reason why they're trying their best to, to keep shielding and keep, demonizing our way of being, our ancestral way of being. Okay, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully after watching this, hopefully you get some ideas. And by ideas, I mean they're talking to you and they're starting to show you some things. As I've stated before, if you got any questions, if you got any suggestions or so, feel free to go ahead and drop me a line. Again, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it very much, because this is what is driving me, because it is helping me to become a more spiritually involved and spiritually evolved individual. All right. Thank you again. Peace. This is Derric RauKhu. Head to Pooh.